What's going on, champs and champets? It's FireMonkey here, and today's going to be a little bit more of an interesting video because we'll be talking about the FNCS competitive side of Fortnite. Now, as you guys may or may not know, I am not really the most competitive player. I mean, I'm literally sitting here in a bot lobby right now as I record this video, and outside of recording videos, I don't really play Fortnite too much recently, to be completely honest. You know, I've just kind of gotten the battle passes done, and then I've gone on with my days, you know, playing other games and everything, but it's definitely still a game that I keep up with because I'm a Fortnite leaker. Now, this comes from the Fortnite competitive community just the other day, where they actually ended up banning a lot of people who had participated in the FNCS tournaments. I'm not for sure if it was like a grand final or if it was like, you know, one of the like tournaments that gets you closer to getting towards the grand finals or whatever for FNCS, but it was a pretty important FNCS tournament where a lot of players got banned without knowing why they were getting banned. And the bans eventually did get reversed, but Epic Games had to make a whole entire statement, you're seeing on the right side of the screen right now, that talks about the whole entire situation. So I'm going to read their statement first, and it's going to be a lot of words, so I'm going to kind of break it down to key bullet points so you guys can kind of follow along with why this has been somewhat of like a bad situation. Firstly, it states, we've realized there is legit confusion on whether Fortnite competitive rules are allow for the use of drop calculators, which have evolved from being static websites to real-time tools connected to the game you're in. This confusion stems from the current phrasing of our prohibition. Using any kind of cheating device, program, or similar cheating method to gain a competitive advantage will result in getting you banned according to the official FNCS rules. We'll be updating this to reinforce that these devices, programs, and methods are prohibited if they have any access to real-time state of the game being played, aka through memory manipulation, screen recording, screenshots, audio, network traffic files, or overlays, and this will include overlays that feed real-time screen information from the Fortnite client to competitive advantage analysis tools, whereas things like informational web pages that don't have access to the current game state are completely fine and okay for you to use. Given the confusion on this, disqualification of the players that had this mistake, you know, use drop calculators in games, will have their disqualifications removed from their record. The bad news is due to the tournament timing, however, and let me go ahead and eliminate these people real quickly so that we can continue reading that. But the bad news is that due to the timing of the tournament, these lobbies are now full for this event, and it's too late for them to continue in the current event. All future use of these tools are banned if the tools have gotten access to the actual in-game state, and that was their official statement. They then went on to link the official FNCS 2026 rules, but it's a lot of words, so let's go ahead and break it down and tell you the most important parts. Firstly, why is everyone upset with this? Well, they're not upset that, you know, like disqualifications are being removed or anything. That's actually a good thing on Epic Games' part. What they're disappointed in is the fact that Epic Games is basically saying, hey, you know, if you were someone who technically wasn't cheating at all, you know, you were just playing Fortnite like normal, doing the competitive event and everything, but you still got disqualified because you had a tool that you didn't know was considered cheat because it interacted with the actual game networking or whatever else, then you're just unable to have a second chance. You're unable to recompete, and this moment that could have been a big moment for you is just kind of gone because of something that was not really your fault. And the reason I say it like that is because in some cases, you know, it's like, it was in a gray area where it's like, you know, it does connect directly to the game, so it may be seen as the actual player's fault for having that software originally, but at the same time, is it really their fault if a website version of the exact same tool was completely fine to begin with, right? You know, it's the exact same service, just granted to you in a different way, you know, having a different way of grabbing the data and being a slightly altered way of actually using that type of mechanic. And that's why it's a completely gray area. It's because it's like, I don't know who you would really blame for this. In some cases, a lot of people say Epic Games should rerun the tournament. You know, rerun, I think it was like the Grands Finals or something like that. Rerun FNCS Grands or whatever the tournament actually was, because of these false disqualifications. But other people are saying, you know, it's like, oh, you know, stuff happens. Epic Games is not really going to do much for it except remove the bans from people's records, and that's all they can really do. So I would love to hear in the comments down below, what do you guys think the best course of action for this would have been? Would it be to rerun the entire tournament and get rid of the opportunity that some people might have gotten from these disqualifications? Or is it something where it's like, oh, you know, if you got disqualified, then you just gotta learn more for next time and just kind of take the L on your chin or something like that? I'm really unsure either way, but let's go ahead and dive deeper into their whole entire statement here. So the confusion originally was that the old rule was just vague. It said no cheating devices or programs, which made people a little confused on how drop calculators counted incorporated into all of that, because drop calculators have been used in FNCS competitive, or I guess just like Fortnite competitive, for a long time now, especially in like the FNCS side of things. And I've seen like a lot of pros actually mention calculators online, you know, social media, Twitter, all that type of stuff before. So is that technically a cheat tool? What classifies as a cheat tool? Because if a drop calculator has been fine in the past, then surely using an app version would be fine as well, right? Now, of course, that new rule clarifies that the tools are banned if they access any real-time data about the game you're playing at that moment, such as those memory, you know, recordings and all that type of stuff. So if it's just a website thing that you kind of like plot out data on, completely fine. If it's something that can kind of like see replays of people who actually played in previous matches, and it uses that real-time data and updates as people play matches, then that could be seen as a little bit more of like a cheat tool to Epic Games, and it will be banned. So, you know, stick to like a .com website, .gov website. I don't think any .gov Fortnite website exists, but maybe it does in the future. And stick to those. Don't download a drop calculator program. I do think if we were to play devil's advocate when it comes to the potential opportunity of re-rolling, you know, this tournament, then it would come into play of where's the line for re-rolling, right? Because on one hand, it can sound like, oh, this is a perfect reason to re-roll this type of thing, you know, restart it, redo it, whatever else, and maybe give like a consultation prize to the people who actually participated in the original version before everything changed or whatever. But on the other hand, if they were to, you know, bend to the community now asking for this re-roll or rerun or whatever you want to call it, then where does that line actually get drawn? Does it get drawn at an area where it's just like, oh, you know, if it's for false bans on our part, then we'll redo it? Is it get drawn in an area where it's like, oh, you know, if someone accidentally lost Wi-Fi due to a tornado or storm or something, do we re-roll an entire tournament because North Carolina got hit or Canada got hit or something? I know there's more places in Canada, you know, I should have said like Toronto or something, but it's like, where do we really draw the line there? It's a little bit messy in both situations, but I feel like both ways have their own pros and cons. You know, it's like for rerunning it, it allows people who have these vague rules, who acted in good faith, to participate once again. For not redoing it, then it'd be logistically messy for Epic Games, especially right after layoffs and all that type of stuff. So I think I want to leave that up in the air for you guys to actually discuss. But regardless, it has been a pretty interesting area where it's like, I'm over here talking about FNCS and Fortnite competitive, when normally over here on this channel, the most you hear me talking about when it comes to competitive is like, oh hey, we got some free rewards for you to go ahead and obtain. So it's definitely getting out in that area where, you know, not even just FNCS competitors and players are, you know, having their say in this debacle, but the whole community has their say in it as well. Until next time, however, hope champs and champions enjoyed today's YouTube video. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, and I'll catch you all tomorrow with another upload. So until then, peace out.